So today is a dark day for emulation. Nintendo has successfully shut down Yuzu and, as collateral damage, Citra. And this comes about a week after Nintendo filed their first motion to challenge Yuzu's legitimacy and take them to court and all that. So we're going to talk about that today, what that means for you if you're an emulation fan, and what might happen in the future. Hey, I'm Bobby here with Direct Gaming, and we're going to talk today about Yuzu and Citra shutting down. Now, this was a big deal for a lot of people. Yuzu just released a thing today that says, hey, Yuzuers and Citra fans, we write today to inform you that Yuzu and Yuzu's support of Citra are being discontinued effective immediately. Yuzu and its teams have always been against piracy. We started the projects in good faith out of passion for Nintendo and its consoles and games, and we're not intending to cause harm. But we see now that our projects can circumvent Nintendo's technological protection measures and allow users to play games outside of authorized hardware, and that they have led to extensive piracy. In particular, we have been deeply disappointed when users have purchased or have used our software to leak game contents prior to its release and ruin the experience for legitimate purchasers and fans. We have come to the decision that we cannot continue to allow this to occur. Piracy was never our intention, and we believe that piracy of video games and on video game consoles should end. Effective today, we will be pulling our code repositories offline, discontinuing our Patreon accounts and Discord servers, and soon shutting down our websites. We hope our actions will be a small step toward ending piracy of all creators' works. Thank you for your years of support and for understanding our decision. So, obviously, Yuzu just did not want to have to fight Nintendo in court. That's very, very clear. They're also settling for, I believe, $2.4 million. They've settled out of court. So I assume part of this settlement is the shutdown of Yuzu and Citra support, pulling those code repositories offline, which is a shame because 3DS is dead. It's dead, right? They shut down the eShop. You can't do anything with a 3DS legitimately anymore, because Nintendo has shut down all ways to utilize that hardware. And it's unfortunate because that means a good piece of hardware just kind of is going to get left by the wayside. Now, I have my 3DS, and you do what you do to keep things going. That's all I'm going to say about that. But the real concern here is really the protection of games that we can't get anymore. We can't get a lot of 3DS games anymore. There's a lot of people who will never be able to purchase another 3DS game unless they buy, a secondhand used copy. Some of these games go for $150, right? DS Pokemon games will go for $150, things like that. And it's just unfortunate because game preservation through emulation is a big deal, and it actually helps new generations experience a lot of stuff. That being said, I believe personally that Yuzu made a big mistake here in keeping things behind a paywall. They're effectively profiting off of their emulator, and Nintendo can just go to court and go, they're profiting off of our hardware, our technology. And Nintendo, I guarantee you that's why Yuzu is taking this settlement. Because once they added that profit to it, they added that way of making profit. And I get it, it's going to help development and all that, but still, there's a way of making profit off of it, and forcing people to pay for new features and stuff like that. That's unfortunate. Now, there are other emulators out there. I don't know for 3DS. I assume there are, but I know there are for Switch as well. And we'll see, I guess, if things like Ryujinx gets shut down, because that may get shut down. I know personally, I have tried things on Ryujinx. I have physical copies and all that stuff. But I have tried things on Ryujinx, like Pokemon. What was it? Scarlet and Violet. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet getting the 60 FPS patch running. That was super cool to see. Just tried it out, and I was like, man, I want a new Switch so I can buy that and play this. Hopefully, at 60 FPS. Say they're Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. I would love to see those on the new Nintendo hardware on 60 FPS. And I would absolutely try it. After Tears of the Kingdom came out, I did download it and try that. The patches weren't great, but having 40 FPS was kind of nice. So it's definitely a thing. And again, don't condone piracy. I bought 3 copies of Tears of the Kingdom. I have a digital and 2 physical copies. So, those are my copies. So I can do with them what I like. But this is unfortunate for games preservation because things like you know, the DS, 3DS library could be lost, you know, if things go Nintendo's way. At least until they decide to reissue them in an emulator of their own, which is kind of weird because a lot of people have drawn attention to the fact that Nintendo does, in fact, kind of put emulators behind a paywall while saying emulation is bad and evil, and it detracts from technological advances. So it is kind of hypocritical, Nintendo, to do that, right? And I love Nintendo. I'm a huge Nintendo fan. Like Zelda and Mario, those are the franchises that got me into gaming. I will forever be a Zelda and Mario fan. But at the same time, Nintendo does have a way of being a little too harsh with stuff like this. You know, you don't ever see Sega going after people running emulators, right? You don't ever see Atari going after people running emulators. And I do get it. Switch is a different thing because it's the active console. That would be the main thing that I think Nintendo would want to deal with, is like the leaks. Like, for whatever reason, their security is really terrible. Like, Tears of the Kingdom got leaked, like a week and a half before it came out. Same thing with like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and same thing with Metroid Dread, I think, was out early. There's a number of games that they've had that have come out early because they have a security problem. So that could be another possible thing that they do to kind of tighten things up. But the one thing I'm really wondering is, with the next Switch, are they going to have the same type of like security vulnerability? And is that why they're trying to get after Switch stuff now? Because Yuzu's been around for a number of years. Ryu Jinx as well, I believe, has been around for a number of years. Citra has been around for a long time. And, you know, you just like, you see them going after it now. It seems very, very strange. But all that being said, hopefully we can see some kind of rebirth of emulation down the line, right? Because I would hate in 10 years to have like really awesome Switch games that I can't really play because my hardware craps out or whatever, right? Who knows? With consoles nowadays, you know, they ain't built like they used to be. You can get an NES, take an alcohol swab to the internals and the discs, and it'll generally run. Those things last forever. So we'll just have to see how it plays out, though. What do you think about Citra and Yuzu being shut down? Now, these are big emulators that a lot of people use, and we've already seen people trying to like spread the code repositories. I did that myself because I absolutely believe that something like the 3DS, that should be preserved. We should be able to see down the line a way to play those 3DS games without being forced to only buy from third-party people who are going to pay, or who are going to charge, you know, $100 a disc, or a cartridge rather, or by subscribing to a Nintendo service. That's just my personal opinion. Yuzu, you know, I have a Switch. I buy the games that I want, so it's not the biggest deal to me. It's cool to have the features like, okay, I can dump my game and now I can try and play it, you know, Tears of the Kingdom like 40, 45 FPS, and it runs smoother, right? But overall, I don't know, it feels kind of strange, but you know, there's I get Nintendo why they're doing it, but at the same time, you know, I get what they're doing with Yuzu, but with Citra it feels a little, I don't know. I guess, you know, they were run under the same company, so it was probably likely part of the deal that they said, hey, you're going to take down Citra as well as Yuzu as part of this settlement. Otherwise, we're going to, you know, Nintendo would just keep them in court for 7 years and bleed them for tens of millions instead of 2.4 million. So honestly, a lot of people put a lot of hard work into Yuzu, and I do believe they started it in good faith. I'm hoping that down the line someone can pick that up, because Switch is a great console and it'd be great to have a way to keep this going down the line again without having to resolve to buying discs when they're $100, $200, you know, things like that. But yeah, let us know. Were you a fan of Citra Yuzu? Are you upset by this? Because, like, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a little gross, but I guess, you know, we got to deal with it. We'll see alternatives pop up, though. People are already trying to save the code, spread the code so that people can work on it and change the name and release it as something else, and it'll be almost the exact same thing. But still, it's a precedent. Hopefully we don't see Nintendo setting that anyone can just go after a company and get emulators shut down immediately. Anyway, I'm Bobby again with Direct Gaming. Let us know what you think of this in the comments section. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Hit that like button if you made it this far, and leave a dislike if you watch this and you don't enjoy this video, and let us know in the comments what we can do better for next time. We're always trying to improve our videos for you, the viewers. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon.